The night my son was born premature and fighting for his life in the NICU, I sent my family a desperate text begging for support. Every single one left it on read and nobody showed up. The text delivered at 11:43. I watched the checkmarks appear. 1. Then 2. The specific digital confirmation that the message had been received, that the words I had typed with shaking hands in a hospital corridor while my son was on the other side of a door I was not allowed through had arrived in the pockets and on the nightstands of every person I had spent my life believing would come if I ever sent something like this. Read receipts on. I had always kept read receipts on. I understood, standing in that corridor, that this was the specific cruelty of the present moment, not just that they were not coming, but that I could watch them not come in real time, could see the names illuminate one by one as the message was opened, could count the seconds between the opening and the silence that followed it. My son's name was Eli. He had been born at 29 weeks and 4 days on a Tuesday night in November, which is the specific too early of a baby who was not supposed to arrive for 11 more weeks and whose arrival had produced the particular controlled chaos of a delivery room that moves from routine to emergency in the specific time it takes for a monitor to change its tone. He weighed 2 pounds and 1 ounce. I had not been allowed to hold him. I had seen him for 4 seconds before they took him, 4 seconds of a face so small it seemed impossible that a face could be that small and still be a face, and then he was gone through a set of doors and I was in a corridor alone with a phone in my hand. My husband Garrett was parking the car. We had arrived at the hospital 40 minutes ago in the specific panicked rush of contractions that were not supposed to be happening and had been happening for 3 hours before I admitted to myself that they were what they were. Garrett had driven with the particular focused speed of someone who is managing terror by giving it a task, and the task was getting us there, and he had gotten us there and then the parking because the valet had a line and there was no time for the line and he had said, "Go, Rosalind, go, I will park and come in," and go had meant going without him into the emergency entrance and into the delivery and through the 4 seconds. He did not know yet. About Eli. About the doors. About the 2 pounds and 1 ounce. I sent the text to 14 people. My mother. My father. My 2 brothers, Felix and Dorian. My sister Margot. My mother's sister Constance. My father's brother Gerald. 3 cousins. 2 people who had been described as close family friends for 20 years and who had attended my wedding and held the specific permanent position in our family self-image of people who show up when showing up matters. 14 people. The text said, Eli came early. 29 weeks. He is in the NICU and they won't let me in yet. I am alone in the corridor. I need someone here. Please. I watched the read receipts arrive. My mother at 11:44. 1 minute after I sent it. My sister Margot at 11:46. Felix at 11:48. My father at 11:51. Constance at 11:53. One by one. The names appearing in the specific order of people checking their phones at 11 o'clock on a Tuesday night, reading a message, and doing nothing. Garrett found me in the corridor at 12:03. He was still in his coat. He had run from the parking structure. I could see it in his face and his breathing, the specific disheveled quality of someone who has been moving as fast as they can move since the moment they had a reason to. He saw my face. Eli, he said. I told him. He sat down on the floor. Not because he was weak. Because his legs made the decision his mind had not caught up to yet, the specific physical response of a man receiving information about his son at midnight in a hospital corridor. I sat next to him. We sat on the floor of the corridor and I held my phone and the read receipts kept arriving and neither of us said anything for a long time. My name is Rosalind. I am 31 years old and I had spent my life in the particular faith of someone who has been told they have a family and has believed it and has organized their emotional infrastructure around the believing. Not naively. I knew my family had the specific complicated texture of all families, the particular mix of genuine love and self-interest and the recurring gap between who people say they are at weddings and holidays and who they turn out to be in the corridors. I had believed in the corridors. I had believed that the corridor was where the difference between the real and the performed would become visible, that the true nature of the people I loved would surface when the surface was the only thing that mattered. 11:43 on a Tuesday night. 2 pounds and 1 ounce. 14 read receipts. 0 calls. The NICU nurse found us on the floor at 12:20. Her name tag said Agnes and she had the specific quality of someone who has spent years working in a unit where parents sit on floors, and she did not react to the floor sitting the way someone who has not seen it before would react. She crouched down to our level. You can come in now, she said. Both of you. He is stable. He is small but he is fighting. Garrett stood up first. He reached down and took my hand and pulled me up with the particular focused strength of someone who has located the only task that matters and is doing it. We went through the doors. I am not going to describe what the NICU looks like in the specific clinical detail of someone cataloging the experience. What I will tell you is this: there were other babies, other incubators, other parents in the specific postures of people who have been in this room long enough that the postures have become their normal. And in the third incubator from the left, under a light that was doing something specific to his skin, was my son. 2 pounds and 1 ounce. Wires and tubes and the specific mechanical breathing of a machine that was helping him do the thing he could not yet fully do alone. His hand was the size of my thumb. I put my finger against the incubator glass. Garrett's arm came around me from behind, the specific weight of him, the particular warmth of someone who is also devastated and is also here and is the one person in the world who is feeling exactly what you are feeling because it is his son too. "Hey Eli," Garrett said. His voice had the stripped quality, the actual one. "We are here. We are both here." My phone buzzed in my pocket. I did not look at it. Not then. Not in that room with my son's hand the size of my thumb and Garrett's arm around me and Agnes moving quietly between the incubators with the specific competent calm of someone who has been doing sacred work for a long time. I looked at it at 2:15 in the morning when Agnes told us to go and sit in the family room and eat something from the vending machine and rest for an hour because Eli was stable and we needed to be sustainable for the days ahead, and sustainability required food and sitting in chairs. Garrett was at the vending machine. I looked at my phone. 14 read receipts. 1 response. 1. My cousin Brigitte, who was the 14th person on the list, who had read the message at 1:07 in the morning, an hour and 24 minutes after I sent it, had sent back, "Oh no. Thinking of you. Sending love. Thinking of you. Sending love." The specific language of someone who has received news they do not know how to hold and has reached for the available phrase that communicates acknowledgement without requiring presence. 13 read receipts and silence. 1 response. Sending love. Garrett put a granola bar and a coffee in front of me and sat down. He looked at my phone. He looked at my face. "No one came," I said. His jaw moved. The specific jaw movement of a man who is holding something very large and is deciding what to do with the holding. "No one called," I said. 14 people. My mother read it in 1 minute. Felix read it in 5. My father read it in 8. I looked at the phone. 1 response. Brigitte. Sending love. Garrett looked at the ceiling for a moment. Then he looked at me. "Okay," he said. The specific single word of someone who has received information and has made a decision about it and is communicating the decision. "Okay," I said. "Right now the only thing is Eli," he said. "Yes," I said. "Everything else is for later," he said. "Yes," I said. "But there will be a later," he said. "And later I am going to need you to tell me what you want to do with it. Because what they did tonight is something and I am not going to pretend it is nothing." I looked at my husband. Garrett, who had parked the car and run from the parking structure and pulled me up from the corridor floor and said, "Hey Eli, we are here both of us." "Later," I said. "Later," he said. He took my hand across the vending machine table. We sat in the family room of the NICU at 2:30 in the morning and we ate granola bars, and we did not talk about the 14 red receipts, and we talked about Eli, about the 2 pounds and 1 ounce, about the Agnes who had crouched to our level and the particular word she had used, which was fighting, he is fighting, and about what fighting meant and what we were going to do to fight alongside him. My phone buzzed at 3:17. My mother. Not a call. A text. "Just saw this. How is everything? Thinking of you both. Just saw this." She had read it at 11:44. 3 hours and 33 minutes ago. "Just saw this." I put the phone face down on the table. Garrett had seen it. He did not say anything. He picked up my coffee and handed it to me. I drank it. At 4:09 my father sent, "Heard from your mother. Hope all is well." Hope all is well. At 4:47 Felix sent a thumbs up emoji. A thumbs up emoji. I sat with the thumbs up emoji for a long time. Then I put my phone in my bag. I went back to the incubator. I put my finger against the glass. "Still here," I said to my son. "We are still here." Agnes appeared beside me. "He had a good hour," she said. "His numbers are better than they were when you came in." I looked at the 2 pounds and 1 ounce. At the hand the size of my thumb. At the fighting. "How long?" I said. "In the NICU." "Probably until his original due date," Agnes said. 11 weeks, give or take. Every baby is different. Every day is its own. 11 weeks. 11 weeks of this room and this incubator and this specific fighting. I thought about what 11 weeks looked like. I thought about 14 read receipts and one response and just saw this and hope all is well and a thumbs up emoji from my brother at 4:47 in the morning. I thought about what the next 11 weeks were going to require and who was going to be in them. Genuine tears, the actual ones, not the managed version. My mother looking at her grandson through glass and crying in the particular way of someone whose body has understood something that arrived too large for the management to contain. I watched her cry. I stood next to her and I watched my mother see my son for the first time, and I held two things simultaneously: the specific love that her tears produced in me and the specific memory of 11:44 on Tuesday night, and the 1 minute between the delivery and the read receipt and the 3 hours and 33 minutes before just saw this. Both things were true at the same time. I was learning to hold both. He is so small, she said. 2 pounds and 5 ounces today, I said. She looked at the whiteboard. At the numbers. At the things we had written to Eli, the specific small accumulations of a family talking to a person through glass. Rosalind. Her voice had the stripped quality. The actual one. Mom, I said. I should have come Tuesday night, she said. I looked at my son. Yes, I said. You should have. I didn't know what to, she stopped. I know, I said. I know you didn't know what to do. I know it was late and it was frightening, and not knowing what to do with frightening things is the specific way our family has always operated. I know all of that. I paused. And I sent a text that said I am alone and I need someone, and you read it in 1 minute and you sent nothing for 3 hours and 33 minutes. She looked at her hands. Both of those things are true at the same time, I said. I am not going to choose one and set down the other to make this easier. They are both true and they are both staying. She nodded. The nod of someone who has received accurate information and is not arguing with it. What do you need? She said. The question I had been waiting for since 11:43 on Tuesday night. I need people who show up, I said. Not for a visit. Not for the 4-day arrival that addresses the first night absence. I need people who come back. Who learn the nurses' names. Who understand that 11 weeks is 11 weeks and that the showing up has to be consistent to mean anything. I can do that, she said. Show me, I said. She came back. Not every day. I was not asking for every day. I was asking for consistent, and consistent was what she offered, the specific 3 times a week presence of someone who had understood that the showing up was the only available language and had decided to become fluent in it. She learned Agnes's name. She brought food on Tuesdays, not the generic food of someone making a gesture, the specific food she knew Garrett and I had been eating in the family room at 2 in the morning, the real food, because she had asked what we needed and we had told her and she had listened. That mattered. The others arrived in the subsequent days. Felix on day 6 with a particular sheepish quality of someone who has sent a thumbs up emoji and knows it. My father on day 8. Margot on day 9. Each of them with the specific version of I should have come sooner that comes in the form of arrival rather than words. I received each one. Not with warmth I did not have. With the specific measured response of someone who is watching and noting and has not yet decided what the appearances produce in terms of the longer accounting. I talked to Garrett about it at night in the particular honest space of 2 people who are going through something enormous together and have made the agreement that honesty is the only available protection. Felix came, Garrett said. Day 6. We were in the family room. Yes, I said. What did you feel? He said. I felt glad he was there, I said. And I felt the thumbs up emoji. Both at the same time. Garrett nodded. I am not going to perform forgiveness I have not arrived at, I said. But I am also not going to close the door on people who are walking through it. I'm going to watch. I'm going to see what the 11 weeks produce. Fair, he said. And when Eli is home, I said. When we are on the other side of this room and the 11 weeks. There are going to be conversations. Yes, he said. Not from the reactive place, I said. From the examined one. When I have the space and the energy and the specific clarity that this room does not currently allow. I will be there for those conversations, he said. I know, I said. You have been here for everything else. Eli came home after 9 weeks and 4 days. Not the full 11. He decided he was ready at 9 weeks and 4 days, and Agnes said his numbers supported the decision, and the doctor said his numbers supported the decision, and Garrett and I stood at the incubator and looked at the 2 pounds and 1 ounce that was now 5 pounds and 11 ounces and understood that the fighting had produced this. The drive home was 23 minutes. I sat in the back with Eli in the car seat, The specific car seat we had installed and inspected and reinstalled twice because the installation had to be right, and I looked at my son's face in the particular winter afternoon light coming through the car window, and I thought about Tuesday night, and the corridor, and the floor, and the granola bars at 2:30 in the morning. I thought about what we had done in those 9 weeks and 4 days. Not what the family had done. What Garrett and I had done. Every day. Both of us. The numbers on the whiteboard and Agnes's name and the specific language of a family building itself in a room with fluorescent lights. We had done that. The conversations happened 3 weeks after Eli came home. Not all at once. One at a time. The specific individual conversations of someone who has had 9 weeks to think about what she needs to say and has said it in her head enough times that the examined version is the only version available. My mother first. At her kitchen table on a Saturday morning, Eli with Garrett, the specific privacy of an occasion from which the baby has been deliberately removed because what the adults need to say is not for the background of an infant. I told her about 1143. Not the facts, she knew the facts. The specific experience of it. The corridor. The floor. The read receipts arriving one by one. The 3 hours and 33 minutes before just saw this. What it felt like to be sitting in that corridor having sent a message that said I am alone and I need someone and to watch the names illuminate and the silence follow. She listened all the way through. When I finished, she looked at the table. I was afraid, she said. I did not know what to say, so I said nothing, and then time passed, and the nothing had gone on long enough that saying something felt harder than the original nothing. I know that is true, I said. It is not a justification, she said. No, I said. What do you need from me now, she said. I need you to remember what the corridor felt like from my side, I said. Not tonight or next week. Permanently. I need it to be the thing you carry when you see a message from me and you do not know what to say. Because I would rather have you say something inadequate in 1 minute than something perfect in 3 hours and 33 minutes. She looked at me. Say the inadequate thing immediately, she said. Yes, I said. Always. The inadequate immediate thing is worth more than anything that comes later. She reached across the table. Her hand over mine. Okay, she said. Felix was different. Felix I met for coffee rather than a kitchen table, the specific geography of a conversation that is necessary but does not require the full weight of a family home. I told him about the thumbs up emoji. Not accusatorially. Factually. What it had felt like to receive a thumbs up emoji from my brother at 4:47 in the morning after his nephew had been born at 29 weeks. He looked at the coffee cup. I did not know what to do, he said. With the message or with myself. I kept thinking I would call in the morning. Proper time. When I had something real to say. Proper time was 11:43, I said. Proper time was the moment you read it. I know, he said. I am not asking you to have had the perfect words, I said. I am asking you to have shown up with whatever words you had. Even if the words were I don't know what to say but I am here. Even that. He looked at me. Even that, he said. Even that, I said. The presence is the thing. Not the words. The presence. He called 2 days later. Not about anything. Just a call. The specific ordinary call of someone who is beginning to practice the thing they have been told they need to practice. I answered. We talked for 20 minutes. It was a beginning. Eli is 4 months old now. He is 7 pounds and 3 ounces and he has opinions about his blanket and a specific sound he makes when he is deciding whether to cry that Garrett and I have named the considering sound and that we wait through together because the considering sound is one of our favorite sounds in the world. Agnes sent a card when we left the NICU. I have it on the refrigerator. It says, he fought hard. So did you. That matters. I look at it every morning. It does matter. The fighting matters. All of it. The 2 pounds and 1 ounce and the 9 weeks and 4 days and the corridor floor and Garrett running from the parking structure and the granola bars at 2:30 and every single day both of us in that room. The fighting matters. And what I know now, on the other side of 11:43 on a Tuesday night, is this. The read receipts showed me the list. Not the list I thought I had. The real one. The list of people who can hold the weight of a corridor at midnight. It is shorter than I thought. It is also more honest than I thought. And honest is what Eli deserves to grow up inside. Not the list of 14. The true one. The one that ran from the parking structure. The one that crouched to our level. The one that said he is fighting. That list. Carry the list. Know who is on it? Because the corridor comes without warning. And the read receipts do not lie. Not once. Not ever.